This is Kathy from Dee's, and today we're going to show you how to make this lighted wreath. To make our lighted wreath, I'm going to show you the supplies that we're going to use. We'll be using a styrofoam wreath form. We will be using Geo Mesh, which is a vinyl mesh fabric ribbon that's 21 inches wide. It's very easy to work with. It is durable and waterproof. You can use it outdoors. Inexpensive fluorescent satin to wrap our wreath. Floral pins, a U-shaped pin that we'll be using to stick our Geo Mesh into the wreath, and also the fluorescent satin. And then some Christmas lights. If you would like to embellish your wreath, we'll be using some red berries, or you could use, I'll show you some other things that you can use when we're finished to embellish our wreath. Okay, the way that we do this wreath is we're going to start with a styrofoam wreath form. This is a 14-inch wreath form. You can also use a 16 and 18-inch wreath form. All those will actually work. Because it's white and the material that we're going to work with today is green, we're going to cover the wreath form with inexpensive fluorescent satin so that we don't have to worry about the white wreath form showing through our green or red material. The way that we do that is we're going to use a floral pin to pin the end of the fluorescent satin into the wreath, and then we'll just simply wrap the wreath snugly with the floral satin. And we'll go all the way around until it's completely covered. Okay, once your wreath is wrapped, you're ready to start applying your Geo Mesh. It's 21 inches wide. We're going to start at the end. It's going to take about 5 to 6 yards to completely cover this wreath. We start at the end of the Geo Mesh, and we're going to gather from one side to the other. You can trim that even if you like. And then we're going to use our floral pin to pin the Geo Mesh into the styrofoam wreath. Then we'll simply come back from that pin about 12 inches with our Geo Mesh. You can measure if you like to keep it even. Come back about 12 inches. We're going to gather again. Bring that up to the neck about 3 inches from the first pin, and pin where we've gathered into the wreath. And we're going to continue that, coming back the same distance each time, gathering, coming again about 3 inches from the that last pin, and pinning into the wreath. If you pull it up and it doesn't look even, you can adjust, move your hand back a little bit on your gathers, or bring it in a little closer so that your loops of Geo Mesh are fairly consistent. Gather and pin into the wreath. Okay, so once you have finished your wreath, you could actually leave it just like it is. It's very pretty, just like this. You could lay it on a table and put a hurricane in the center with a candle, or it could be used for your front door, even your wall outside, because it is waterproof material. You could add some other decorations to it. You could take some Geo Mesh ribbon, make a bow with the ribbon, and use your pin, or you can use some wire and add some other ribbon to it if you like that look. You could go and add some waterproof berries if you're going to be using it outside, and those we would just use a little hot glue. You can actually insert them first. I would do this all the way around to see where you want to put them, and then I would go back later once I've decided, and use some hot glue to secure these berries. Give you an idea what that would look like. And then of course you could add a bow also if you'd like. Another thing I think would be pretty with this green is we could add some little snowflakes. Same thing, you would just glue those in. You could use glass ornaments, maybe something that you've been collecting that you would like to show off a little better, so you could stick them into your wreath. In that case, you may want to wire them in instead of gluing them in, so that if you ever change your mind, you can take them out again. So those would be your snowflake idea. Let me show you though, if you'd like a lighted wreath, how you're going to put the lights in. We're going to use about 100 Christmas tree lights to light our wreath. We start by just plug them in so you can see them better as you go, and how many lights you have in each little loop. Gather a few lights. If you want, you could count them out ahead of time and evenly disperse them. I just grab a small handful, go inside the loop with one hand and pull them through. We're just basically pulling them inside the loop. Spread them out a little bit. Then take your next group, maybe 6, 7 lights. Put your hand in the loop and pull the lights into the next one. And we're just going to continue that all the way around. We can adjust them a little bit at the end if we need to. If you stick your hand in and a pin loosens up, just stick it back in. And sometimes you will pull a pin out. Okay, so this is basically what it looks like lit. You can tuck your lights in a little bit if they start to stick out and you don't like that look. Okay, so now we're ready just to glue some berries in. Oh, I'm not gluing though. Well, first we're just going to place our berries in to see where we'd like them to go. And then later we'll go back and add some glue. I'm going to leave some room up here at the top. That's where I'm going to put my bow. This is actually just one stem of berries cut apart. And then I've decided to use some Geo Mesh ribbon for my bow. I'm going to have the streamers come down to the end of the wreath, so I'm just going to measure this way. And then this is pretty easy to work with. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to make these loops exactly the same like you do with some ribbons. We're just going to make really just a couple loops, I think, on each side will be plenty. So make a loop, bring it to the center, gather. You can stop and see how your bow's going. I think she actually maybe just one more loop and we have enough. This is about a 4-yard bow. We have a piece of covered wire we're going to use to wire around the center. Hold everything together. Bring the wire around. Make sure it's in the center, and then give it a twist in the back. And then we'll use that wire to pull the bow. You can either let it lay on top. I like my bows pulled into the wreath a little bit. So we'll use the wire, bring it to the back, and pull it pretty snug, and then twist it. Adjust our berries before we glue them in, now that we have our bow on. And there we go, finished product.